Welcome to Chanel. The latest. Ukraine is relying on Soviet-era tanks to hold the line until Western reinforcements arrive. Dug in amid the rolling hills west of Bakhmut, the tanks of the Ukrainian Army's 28th Mechanized Brigade are helping to hold the line against a growing Russian offensive. They are battered and bruised by nearly a year of combat, but despite their age they are cherished by their crews. The young tank commander, who goes by the call sign David, sees his unit's role as crucial in holding the line, and preventing a Russian advance towards the straggling industrial town of Konstantinivka. "We just work against them. If we don't, they will come closer and we will lose our houses and families. We stand here to let people peacefully live in their houses. If the Russians come to Konstantinivka, what will happen? They will destroy it, not leaving a stone standing." The 28th has had a long war already. It was in the south helping to liberate Kherson before being sent halfway across the country, but it prides itself on one of the lowest casualty rates among Ukrainian brigades. As David talks, the air is split by the sound of outgoing fire from tanks and artillery. A howitzer is in action on the other side of the hill. Their targets are positions held by the Russian mercenary group Wagner south of Bakhmut, several miles away. But the 28th uses its 125mm shells sparingly. "We have problems with ammunition, we are running low on it," David says. "But that's the only problem we have. We get enough spare parts. Our commanders work all the time to sustain and repair the tanks. Sometimes, all it needs is the appearance of a tank in forward positions to scatter Wagner fighters, who are mostly lightly armed infantry. When we come and fire, the enemy goes silent for 2 to 3 days," David says. "They won't fire at our guys in the trenches. If our tanks and artillery don't fire, our infantry will suffer." Recent video geolocated by CNN south of Bakhmut showed 2 Ukrainian tanks advancing towards Wagner positions, as the Russian positions were also attacked by Ukrainian drones from above. But the waves keep coming. Serhiy Cherevati, a spokesman for the armed forces in the east, said Friday, "The Russians are trying to break through our defenses, ignoring enormous losses of their own. It used to be a barrage of fire, now it is barrage of personnel. Their key weapon now is manpower. In Bakhmut, those are the Wagner PMC but not exclusively. In Vuhledar, the key assault forces are Marines and infantry units, along with conscripts." Vuhledar, another town in Donetsk, has also come under intense attack in the last few days. Like all Ukrainian units, the 28th is sensitive to any filming that might give away its locations. Minutes after we are asked not to film anything that might be geolocated, a drone flies over the site. The men squint into the sky but soon relax. "It's not Russian. In fact," David says, "for a tank crew it is easy working here. It is difficult for enemy artillery to find our tanks or other vehicles. They don't have enough forces to locate and hit our vehicles. Still, the tanks are moved frequently. We can move into position, fire and easily come back. That advantage may be lost as the Russians bring up reinforcements, including howitzers and multiple launch rocket systems. These will be critical days and weeks in defending the roughly 40% of Donetsk region still in Ukrainian hands. The question is whether Ukrainian forces can hold their current positions, before being reinforced by the arrival of scores of Western tanks, which could take up to 2 months. Asked whether CNN could film a trophy tank that the 28th seized from the Russians, its crew laugh and say, "In return for an Abrams." The Western main battle tanks pledged in the last week cannot arrive soon enough. They'd bring greater firepower and survivability at a time when tank warfare has become an important part of the conflict. Hamish de Breton Gordon, former commanding officer of the 1st Royal Tank Regiment in the British Army, says the Challengers being sent by the UK are vastly superior to anything the Russians